I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip and Culpy.
Alright, so Holly Hawks. Holly, I think I kept this conversation away from you, but Holly was like, she was doing 75 on Patreon, and I commanded her to lower her thingamajig. And then she posts on Twitter, Vin and Sori made me lower my Patreon donation, and I took the extra money and bought a Mexican pizza.
I've never had a Mexican pizza.
I said, you have to lower it. If you're a patron, we love you and appreciate you. Make sure that your family is first and foremost before us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And if you don't have like a family or to support, make sure that you're prioritizing yourself and making sure you've got self-care. I know everybody, and there was a push like at the end of November, people were upping their Patreon, stuff, and everybody wants us full time, and obviously we do, and but there's 92,000 of us, right? Right. So, if more of us gave $1 or so, that's the rub. Yeah. It's not up to any one group of individuals to give like crazy lavish amounts. Right.
Yeah, because that wasn't the original design. We were just saying, hey, if you're enjoying the content and you're able to give $1 a month, if even not even half, a small portion of our subscribers did that, then we'd be good. We'd be full time. So yeah, definitely. It shouldn't be just on a few.
I just encourage you, if you're giving like anything 20 or above, look at your budget and see if you can do that. And if you can't, there's nothing wrong with lowering it. We've had people not lower, just quit. And then a couple months later, they can come back when they can help.
Yeah, there's no pressure at all.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure that people are, thinking through their, because it's times are crazy. But anyway, but that doesn't mean we don't love and appreciate you guys for doing that and helping us, because it has absolutely been helpful on so many different levels.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just having a conversation and the guy's like, that's going to cost you X $1,000 and but because of you guys, we didn't have a coronary. So
I know, it's true. That's exactly what I thought of. I was like, Patreon people.
yeah. So anyway, shout out to Holly. Thank you, Holly, for lowering your amount so that I don't have to worry about you. And you had your Mexican pizza. But since she did her $75 thingamajig, we had AYREON the day that the world breaks down. Who sent that? Damon Sage sent that?
She said that there's like 11 different singers that are in this.
That's crazy. 11?
Did Damon Sage what?
Well, she updated it on Trello, or did Damon update it?
No, I updated it. I do work, She told me about it on Patreon, and then I upload it to Trello.
I see. All right.
Yeah, she said there's like 11 different singers in this song, so I'm very curious.
11 different singers.
I know.
I wonder if we'll be able to tell.
I don't know.
Is this the official video?
This is what she sent me.
Inshallah doesn't get blocked.
That's what she said. And go.
So deafening as the stillness surrounds us. A rush of fear is surging through our veins. A shadow so darkens our horizon. What have we done? Is this the end? When death
Sure that I'm the only one.
That's all he was saying. 0.
I must have been blind. I mean, it should have been obvious. Straight out of my mind to rely on the cold machine. The signs were strong. I know I was wrong. I know they will hate me now. Ooh, but I will come clean and destroy this cold machine.
All right.
That was really fun.
That must
And
be fun.
it did not feel like 13 minutes.
Not at all. Not at all. It's so funny.
What a great project.
Some of these songs are like...
I hope they don't block this.
Yeah.
If they block this one, you really need to go watch it because it's really good.
It's a good video, and it's having all those musicians like participate in your
Yeah.
in your
Oh
thing.
yeah.
That must be really fun.
It was cute too because of, like he was putting those little things at the bottom about each one and this one's laugh and this one's really sweet and
I thought it was a fan.
So
I thought it was a fan video at first.
Yeah.
And then when he started talking about the guitar, I was like, wait a second, this is the dude. This is the guy. Mm-hmm. And I was also gonna say I'm surprised that there aren't more bands like this or more situations like this where
where they work together
and talk to each other, you know,
Yeah.
and say, hey, let's come up with a giant song together.
Yeah.
Of course, I saw Floor. I was pretty happy.
Yeah.
Floor!
The minute I saw her, I was like, what?
Hey, Floor! Yeah. So he kind of gave, you know, some of the interpretations of the song and stuff. He's talking about the president was guilty because of he felt so guilty for his
because he did something that made everybody get in that situation.
His miscalculation, so he was trying to do anything to atone for it and make up for it.
Yeah. That guy, when it said the part that he had to do, the 001, and then, like that was the only lyrics that he was given.
Yeah.
And then he came up, ouch!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
He came up with everything on his...
Did it for messing with his server. Go ahead.
He came up with everything on his own.
Yeah, but that was my favorite part of the song.
I think he did a great job.
I didn't know what he was saying, but and then
I was reading what they were writing beneath, so I knew what was going on.
He said, well, here are the lyrics 001 da 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 da, and I thought he was, you know how people say yada yada yada?
Oh.
So I thought that's what it was. I'm like, man, that sounds like 01 whatever, and then I look at the lyrics and sure enough!
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly what it was.
That's the lyric. That did not feel like 13 minutes at all.
No.
It's so weird how relative time is with stuff.
And we've had long songs before that were like, wow, that went really fast. This one went the fastest.
I wonder if it's because he was talking throughout it.
I think so.
So there was some...
I was very, like, interested in what he was going to say about each person, and they just them having fun and...
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I wonder if that's how people end up listening to us for 45 minutes or whatever. You know?
Maybe. Could be.
But some people feel the 45 minutes because they're like, 45 minutes for a 3-minute song?
Yeah.
Never.
Never.
Thank you for being so passionate. Yeah, so really, really interesting. So they're different people.
Yeah.
You know,
and each singer represents a different person in the story.
Yeah, some of these people, their minds are insane. Like, this is a full-on sci-fi story, you know, in and of itself. I mean, it's the opening track, The Day the World Breaks Down, and it goes down to March of the Machines, which, you know, so it's obviously a concept record, but good lord, it's pretty swooping.
I wonder what they sound like on their own. Or is this only what they do?
Yeah, I wonder if there's no, like, actual singer for this band, so they always have to outsource. But, I mean, when you do it live, you gotta do something.
No, I mean, I'm saying, like, was this must have been a side project that he did that was, you know, or is this every album he does something like this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
What does that band, although he said, I'm glad I don't have to do this live, so there must not be like a core, maybe there's not like a core band.
Maybe he just hires it out all the time?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. AYREON band. Arjen Lucassen, yeah. It's just him.
Wow,
it's a musical project by Dutch songwriter, singer, multi-instrumentalist, musician, and record producer Arjen Anthony Lucassen.
He must be pretty connected to have gotten all those people.
Yeah. Yeah. He must be majorly connected for sure. Okay, so I think the story is basically that he gave computers too much control.
Yep, and then they took over.
And they took over, and then they started eradicating the world. And
yeah, well, they took out everything that would help people. It sounded like. Like, did you get that part?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was just like picturing like people like hiding in the ruins trying to live off what they could, but they have to live as probably as machine free as they can, obviously, because they don't want to draw any attention to themselves. So we go back to our roots.
As a piece of literature, this is brilliant. Every time in a story, you have to decide when you're writing how you're going to introduce the history or how you're going to introduce the character. So like, for example, the guy ends up in jail. If the story starts with the guy in jail, the author has to figure out how to get you to understand how he ended up in jail.
Yep.
Or like, we were watching the Silver Linings Playbook, and the guy is divorced, and then you got to the author has to figure out how.
Yep.
How do we get informed that the divorce happened?
Yeah.
And then you see when he's talking to his psychologist or his psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist says, "Tell me again what happened," and then, he's telling the psychiatrist a million times, but that's how you get introduced to it. So, like, the way that the story starts is the silence is deafened, stillness around us, rush of fears in our veins, dark horizon. This is like bad. Death is descending. This is terrible. You know. And so we're like, okay, well, what happened? And then you see the opposition leader starts. He says, "Don't say I didn't warn you." And you go, okay, so there was something happening, and somebody tried to warn somebody, and somebody made a bad decision, and now these people are screwed. And as the lyrics go on, you start to see what happened. And then the whole concept, the day the world breaks down, is like, look, the world is about to end. Like, something bad is going to happen. Don't claim you didn't see it, or you're prepared to die.
Right.
And then, I can't believe we're in danger. I can't believe that we've let it come this far.
Yeah.
So then you're like...
That's gotta be, like, if something like that actually happened, like, I think that we would legit feel like that. Like, how did we let this happen? Like, I can't believe that we're actually... Because we always hear these stories like, oh, the end of the world, oh, global warming, oh, like, artificial intelligence, like, all these different things. But then, like, if something actually happened, I think we'd be like, wait, like, seriously? Like...
Well, yeah, that's
I can't believe we're in danger right now.
That's like with what's his face, with Lot and Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
And the angel said, "Look, we're about to torch this entire city. We're gonna waste everybody." And Lot goes, "Well, I have two son-in-laws." So then Lot says, "Yo, these angels are about to murk the city," and the son-in-law stayed behind because they thought he was joking.
Yep.
There's something like people are. Like apocalyptic eventualities, because of the nature, they're so rare that it's hard to comprehend that apocalyptic eventuality actually happening, because they don't happen and they're so final. So like, that's why I'm always like, conspiracy people are weird people for sure, but I never like completely and totally discount them, because how can you?
Right.
Because at some point, something on a mass scale is going to happen.
Right.
And then you're going to go, I can't, it's like, so it's crazy. But so the chemist, he's saying, I can't believe in danger. That's one of those people that's just like completely useless in a moment of trauma. Seriously, the person, like this guy, the resistance guy, the opposition leader, he's kind of like, I told you so, blah, blah, blah. But if you can get that guy beyond his ego, he can actually come up with like, okay, what can we do now?
Yep.
Whereas this guy, forget it, completely worthless. I can't believe we're in danger. I can't believe we let it come this far. Okay, you have 2 lines because you have nothing. And then the counselor comes in. We have to prepare for the changes. We must prepare for the day the world breaks down. That's smart. Because you're introducing how different personality types react to crisis. Yeah. Some people panic.
Yeah.
Some people go, I told you so. Some people would rather the disaster happen just so that they could be right.
Yeah.
They would like.
Oh, absolutely.
they would rather the apocalypse happen when they said it did, just so that they could be right. But then you have the counselor who's basically plays the role of like, sort of, hey, we can live in this state, because I'm assuming what's happening is that the robots or whatever, the computers are coming down to enslave mankind.
Yeah.
And so she's like, well, we can find a way to live in that state.
You said coming down like they were aliens.
Well, it says coming down.
Where?
Didn't it say that it says when death descends right there?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming
when death comes down upon the people, but I don't think that it means like the machines were already here. This is AI. This isn't aliens.
It says shadows so menacing, darkening our horizon.
Yeah, because the bad stuff is coming toward them. Death is coming toward them.
Yeah, and then it says they descend.
Yeah. I disagree with you. I think that... So, why are you thinking that it's artificial intelligent aliens?
I think that they're probably using some sort of machine that can fly.
Oh, okay.
You know, like how they'll
Yeah,
say,
that
like,
makes sense.
They'll say like death from 1,000 feet or whatever in the Air Force.
Okay, yep.
Because they like to be comfortable and bond people. I'm just messing with the Air Force. You guys do your work. Air Force has tallied up more kills than anybody. So that's what my buddy used to tell me. He's like, talk shit all you want. We've got the most bodies. Not something to whatever about, but boys will be boys.
Oh my word.
So the counselor says, we're going to prepare for the changes. And then the opposition leader goes, don't expect we will survive this. There will be no way back. Don't assume it's all a nightmare. Won't stand a chance the day the world breaks down. Okay, so he's also proving himself to be completely worthless in a crisis. Because
Yeah, but you said that once you get him past that ego part, he's going to be all right.
yeah, inshallah, but it doesn't seem like he's getting past it.
Well, you just read the same line twice.
Uh-huh.
Isn't it? Oh,
Don't expect we'll survive this. There'll be no way back. And then he says, don't assume it's all a nightmare. We don't stand a chance.
Oh, yeah. No.
So he, at least the counselor's saying we'll figure something
Yeah.
out. He's looking at it like
The chemist is still saying the same thing. I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe we're headed for a fall.
God almighty, what is wrong with this dude? Come on, bruh. Can't you come up with some chemical?
Look at the prophet. Well, you can do the counselor.
The counselor,
first.
we
You
must
can still-
prepare for the blackening.
The prophet, I can feel it in my heart. I can see it in the stars. Behold, it's all been foretold. The future unfolds the day that the world breaks down.
That's true.
I guess. Not sure how that's helpful either, though.
Well, it's
It was gonna happen, like.
well, it's how religious people would deal with a crisis.
Yeah. Well,
They would
yeah.
say a lot of religious people would say we need to find a way to solve this problem. They'll say, hey,
Yep.
it's a qadar of Allah.
Yep.
Nothing you can do about it. Which is actually an attitude that's criticized in the Bible.
What do you mean?
That attitude, when you see a disaster coming, and then you just go, it's qadar of Allah, that gets criticized in the Bible. There were two main people that said that in the Old Testament, and both of them are portrayed as bad people. So Hezekiah,
Yeah.
he's told your son is gonna go off into captivity, and the Babylonians are gonna castrate him, and blah 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 blah. And then Hezekiah said, it's the Lord's will. And then Isaiah says, he only said that because he thought to himself, there will be peace in my days.
Right. Yep.
So this guy hears about the destruction of his son, and he goes, it's God's will. He throws up some silly religious, statement. But so he was just happy because the war wasn't going to hit him. And then there's Eli, and the prophet tells him, your boys are going to die because they're terrible human beings.
Yep.
And Eli goes, it's God's will. Whatever happens, happens. And both of those men are portrayed as being bad people, because when disaster happens, you're supposed to ask God for help and then actively go out to undo the disaster. You're not just supposed to sit there and say,
Right.
But here's the prophet. It's all been foretold. Here's the captain. I always knew this would happen. Not many believed in my cause. I'm sure they will all turn to me now. I'm sure I'm the only one who can save us. Okay. Yeah, now you coming crawling back. It would be interesting if some Christian apocalypse started happening and everything that you see in the Bible started coming true. All these... Sometimes I feel like not all atheists, because, the atheists in our community are extremely open-minded. But there's different... It depends on what hood of atheism you hang out in.
Yep.
And sometimes I feel like they put out so much arrogance and mendacity that if the biblical stuff just started unfolding right before their eyes, I don't feel like many of them would be able to go back, because they heaped so much mockery on other people. And I also feel like there'd be some Christians that would be like...
It would be difficult.
Yeah, I also feel like there's some Christians that would be like, you never believed in us before. Now you want some help?
Throw it in people's faces.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm the only one who can save us. Starblade from this fate. I didn't catch that part. I didn't understand that one. I always knew they'd need me. Not many showed faith in my plans. I'm sure they'll listen to me now. I'm sure I'm the only one that can save us from this fate.
Oh, look, the astronomer. Yes, I believe you are the answer. Yes, I agree you are the key. Your future lies in the heavens. Our future lies beyond the stars.
And then Starblade again. We will save them. We will save them from this fate. And then 010101. I guess that's the, because it says TH1, which would mean like he must be some computer or something. And the computer's probably agreeing or something like, yeah, well, I'll help or whatever. I'm assuming. Because
I have no idea.
the melody, that was when the guy did all the melody and stuff, and it was a really like legit
Yeah, he did good.
melodies. That's like Groot, you know, he says I am Groot, but it means something else all the time. I am Groot, I'm Groot. So that's probably one of those situations where the guy's saying, But what's interesting is that that's a robot or whatever. So that must mean it's ironic that a robot is being used to help fight other, you know, AI, whatever. So that's interesting. But the way that he did that was probably one of the most brilliant things I've seen.
Yeah,
in the last
he did
month.
really good. And it was so much more impressive because you knew he did it, like,
Yeah.
on its own with just a line. The president, I must have been
Play
blind.
that part again. I want to hear that part again. Where he does the 010101 stuff. It was like right toward the end there. Because I've never seen something like that before in music. That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
I liked when he did this part. And then both. Everybody, like, it was like 0, 0, and then he looked, he's like 1. I was like,
where? Right there?
yeah. One. He says.
Oh, that sounds good.
I know,
He's
it was
not
like
being
kind of
helpful.
It was kind of scary.
So the president goes, I must have been blind. I mean, it should have been obvious straight out of my mind to rely on a cold machine. The signs are strong. I knew I was wrong. I know they will hate me now, but I will come clean and destroy this cold machine. So he's got to admit to the people that he screwed everything up.
Maybe that's T1. Maybe T1 is part of the problem.
A part of the problem. My problem is I'm peaceful, and I believe in the people. Yeah. This is not over. Not as long as we're alive. If we join forces, we will make it. This is not over. As a race, we must survive. We will cross this bridge together. Okay, so that's the cleanest one. No ego.
Yeah. Who was
Just
that?
hope. That's the diplomat.
Oh.
Everybody else is just like, well, the astronomer too. Although the astronomer is like, I believe you're the answer, you're the key. That's kind of dangerous because you're putting your hope in one person.
Yeah.
Whereas the diplomat is saying we.
Yeah.
And that you're never. It's always we at the end of the day. Like there's no one person that's going to solve the problem.
Right.
I mean, even Jesus didn't do it by himself. He's in the Trinity. So.
Very true.
You know, it's like. It's just the idea that God is a Trinity is such a. It's a deeper mystery than people realize. Aside from trying to put the whole 1 and the 3 thing together. That's not the thing. It says something about the importance of community in the universe and its place in the universe that I haven't quite grasped yet. I haven't even begun to grasp to even speculate about it. But there's something about community and how that works in the universe. That's probably the eternal principle. But So the diplomat says we're going to be able to make it. The president says we're losing the fight. We've got ourselves to blame. I guess it seems right in the mind of the cold machine. He's so funny. We got ourselves to blame. You're the one that made the decision.
I know.
It was funny because at that point of the thing, the guy had talked about the president made this horrible decision or whatever in the video. So it's like the president is saying we, and then the author, like basically the god of that universe, basically said, nah, it was his fault.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So it's like, that's very interesting because the previous we was we're gonna survive together, da 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 da.
Yep.
But then this we is him trying to deflect the blame for himself. I'll fix every flaw, break every law, tear up the rule book. If that's what it takes, you will see I'll crush this cold machine. So he's on a crash course toward, doing jihad against the machine.
This is not over. This is the diplomat. I'm sure we'll find a way out of this desperate situation. This is not over. Even if all seems hopeless, for in the end, we will cross the bridge. Together!
Together! Yeah! That's a good one.
Yep.
There's
the
my girl.
diplomat is
Floor coming through in the clutch. I can feel it in the air. The signs are everywhere. Communications is ground to a halt. Traffic is stopped. Defenseless and frail. Planes crashing down. We're getting closer. The flaw. I mean, that's very discouraging. I mean, all of us can see the crashes and things of that nature. Why would you be so discouraging? Fear. Yeah. So I think this is a good kind of like, breakdown of different people's reaction to crisis. Who do you think you're like?
Me 2 years ago or me now?
Okay, who were you 2 years ago?
I'd find a way out of it. The diplomat. Well, a mix of the prophet and a mix of the prophet and the diplomat. Now I think I'm like a little bit of this. I always knew this would happen.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I'm probably like the resistor guy. Like, I freaking told you, people.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely like sit back and try to figure out some way.
Yeah. So mix.
But initially, I'm like, you didn't listen to me.
Yeah.
And that's why we're in the situation we're in. You know it, and I know it. Then I'd sit back and come up with some brilliant ass way to get out of the situation and defeat everything. But initially, I would be like, nah. Mm-hmm. Then we'd have Carmen. Carmen is like the most positive one. Like, Carmen would be the we'll do this one together type thing.
Yeah.
Ben Webb would be like, let's just kill ourselves right now. Let's all just jump off the edge of the world.
Uh-huh. Oh, for sure.
And then he'd tell us all to do it, and then he'd stop.
I was gonna say, I don't think he'd do it though.
Yeah, he'd have us all jump off, and then he'd go to the machines and surrender. That's what Ben Webb would do. Push us all over. De Herrera would just go fight them all.
Yep. He'd take Johan with him.
Yep, him and Johan, they'd go and he'd just fight them all.
For sure.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, but Carmen would be like, Zonia though, you know what Zonia's role in this whole thing would be?
She's working with them.
Yeah, she's the one that fucking built the machine that took us over
that
in
means
the
she
first
must know how
place.
to disconnect them.
Happy birthday.
That must mean she knows how to disconnect them though. But it just depends. True. Would she disconnect them, or would she say, well, they're superior to us?
No, Zonia would work.
She would disconnect them?
Yeah. Z would disconnect it, for sure. Yeah. Alec would be the one that would be like, well, Vin, I really don't think that the perpendicular square of the ramifications of the teleological tendies comports with fighting these people. We should give up.
We should give up.
But it would be so logical and scientific. Like, you know what, Alec, you're right.
You might be right.
We probably
but it sounds so terrible to give up.
But I'm not gonna. Remember that time we were walking down the street and the kids were talking about like some dude coming at him with a weapon, and then Dorian was like, and then Johan was like, would you run? And then Dorian was like, What a ridiculous question, Johan. Father would disarm him immediately.
Disarm him immediately.
Oh boy, yeah. Meanwhile, Holly Hawks is eating her Mexican pizza while the world is going into shambles.
Yep.
Huh? All right, what do you give the song?
I mean, a 9.8, I think.
I'm really on a sci-fi kick right now.
Yeah, you are.
I think this is, lyrically, this is the best. I'm a big human nature person when I'm reading stories or writing stories.
Yeah, well, it captured
I have
it.
got to get back on my freaking story because I've got the entire thing in my head. I just need to write out the chapters. Yeah, it's done. I completed it. I just have to write out the chapters. You know, eventually we're going to have technology where you can just take the ideas and then boom, it's a thing, and then boom.
Yeah. But
But
that would be scary. There's
think-
that show that I was watching where they do that. They can just get right into your head.
Yeah, it's probably dangerous to do. We actually, yeah, it'd probably be dangerous to do on a mass scale.
Yep.
So, I think this is the best writing that I've seen as far as being intelligently introducing what the problem is.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's happening in this world. I mean, other than
No,
what...
but this is just this introduction thing.
Yeah, other than what he said in the thing. But I think we can pretty much piece it together very easily what's happening. And that's because of the dialogue. But the dialogue wasn't clunky. Sometimes when an author is introducing the conflict or the crisis, it gets clunky.
Yeah.
And it's like obvious. It's like, why did you shoot your brother when you were 5? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like this one, it was very natural, and you're kind of you're supposed to be like an eavesdropper on the conversation and figure out what happened. So the conversation's supposed to be natural. So the conversations were really natural, and they really, to me, reflected human nature. Like you could definitely see like all these people are archetypical of how people would actually respond, like how human beings would actually respond. The blaming and the I told you so, and the panic and the fear and the irrational optimism and all this, like
And the giving up.
Yeah. All right. It's a 9.7 for me. Good job, Hollyhawks. One of these days, man, I'm gonna have an all-day concept album listening thing. I'm just gonna go in my room, turn off the lights, and sit up on my bed and just listen to like 9 hours of music straight.
You can do that every night since you don't sleep.
Yeah, but then there's things to look at, things to read, situations. By the way, new Middle America episode. So there you are. All right, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
So menacing darkens